One of the most important, and I've gotten some messages about maybe a little confusing aspect of n8n 2.0 is how you save, publish, and how versioning works. So here I have an example of a Reddit extraction analysis that I use. And so what I've done here is you can see here at the top right here, it says version 3. I just made an update where I updated the LLM chains. I just updated the name of them, right? So then I saved it. Okay. Now I published it 3 times. So I have 3 different versions I can use. So what I want to do now is, let's say I also just want to, let's see right here, instead of this analyze comments, I want this to come down to GPT-5. Okay. So now the save button is lit up. So if I were to save this, I'm not publishing this. So what does this mean? This means that this is active working, right? There's no longer the active button. So basically when you publish something, it's active. So now when it's active and I were to use this, or if it were to work on the scheduled timer that it does every morning, what it would do is it would still, this analyze comments chain would still use GPT 4.1, even though you can clearly see that I updated the GPT-5. Now, the reason for that is you only see the changes that should work, that's actually being used in like production whenever you publish. But just because I saved this doesn't mean this is what's going to be used during the normal workflow. All right. And that's actually a really good thing. And I had gotten a couple comments where maybe that doesn't, like, why is that beneficial? Okay. So the reason is because now if we want to keep using, like you have something for a client, you want to keep using what's actually working, but you kind of want to work on some updates. Well, you can. And you can test that out here without affecting what they're doing. Okay, even though it may look like it, you're not actually. Here I have another example. This was just a simple automation that I came up that every morning I get a certain amount of messages from Gmail. I just get the snippets of them and then just have a simple chain that analyzes those emails and then I send it into a Slack message. Okay, this has not been published yet. All I've done is say that. And I know it's not been published yet because there's nothing here. There's no green check mark saying that, hey, this is active. So if I now go to publish, now I can give this a version name. So I can say, you can say v1.0, however you want to version something. This is the initial version of this workflow. Okay, so now I publish this. Okay, now it says workflow is published. Now I have the green check mark. This is version 1.0. Okay, so now let's say I want to rename this edit fields, get snippets. So it just gets the snippets from all the messages. Okay, so again, I can now save this, but this still doesn't have, this is not in published, right? This doesn't actually affect the workflow, but if I were just to go back to version 1.0, this would go back to saying edit fields. And we can see that is at the top right here. You see the workflow history. Click this little button. We come back here, you can see where I saved and then where I actually published. Okay, so here during the save, it's called get snippets. Here in version 1.0, it's called edit fields. So this is what's actually going to be used. This is what would it look like if when I'm using this in production. But now let me go ahead and come back here and publish this again. So now I can say this is version 1. I might even say 0.01, but let's just say 1.1 for example's sake, and say updated set field name. All right, so I'm going to publish this. Okay, so now we are in, if you highlight over here in the green check mark, we're in version 1.1. Now, if I were to change something, that doesn't mean that's being actively used in normal workflow when the scheduled trigger executes. It's just whenever I want to test something here. So if I go back to workflow history again, you can see 1.1. There's the difference between 1.0 and 1.1 is that is the edited field. Now I could also, here 1.1, 1.0, I could restore this version. Okay, so if I click restore this version, okay, and then if I come back here, we see it's now edit fields. Now this is back to where we were, and you can see the publish, I can still publish again, right? So if I want to publish this, this could be the version where I restored the version 1.0, and that would actually be version 1.2. So if I say here, I say v1.2, restored back to version 1.0. Okay, so if I publish this, now if I go back to the workflow history, 1.2, somebody might look like go through these 1.0, oh, 1.1, there was a change here to snippets, but now 1.2, oh, it's back to edit fields. Well, in the top left corner is like the comments or the description that you made for that version. And this is how, if somebody else were to come in here and work on this, they would know, oh, okay, they updated the set field names on 1.1, and then 1.2, they restored it back to version 1.0. You can go back there and you can see what that actually was. And this is great because this is kind of like, this is somewhat similar to branching logic whenever you're developing and then you want to test things on differently rather than like separately than what's actually working in production, because you want to affect what's working in production. Whereas before, whenever you were doing this with n8n, whenever you publish something or whenever you save something while it was active, that's just automatically what's now in production if you didn't really get to test it. Okay. And that wasn't really good practice. In my opinion, that wasn't good practice. This is much better. Now, if I have something that's a little more complicated, like this Instagram competitive analysis that I have, which by the way is in my school community for free, look in the description below. This way, if obviously there's more to this. If I wanted to end up splitting this out, which I do, if I wanted to split this out into say sub workflows, well, I don't want to do that until it's fully tested, but I also want to see how it works. Before, you might have to duplicate workflows. You don't want to do that. You really don't want to have to do that. And so here I would save and publish what I currently have. I know it's working. Well, then I would start making changes, adding these sub workflows and all that to make this a little bit cleaner and nicer to look at. And also, it's also a little bit easier to debug. Okay. So this way, when you have something complicated and other people will also want to come in, like you have a small team, this way of versioning n8n 2.0 has really helped out, and I promise you that this is a much better way of dealing with any changes that you have and you want to use in production. Okay, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Link in the description for my free school community where I will teach you everything you need to know, not just about n8n, but also how to code things. And they came out with a very powerful way of using Python, especially with local nodes, local n8n nodes. Okay, and I think it's so powerful and really changed some things. So I'll have a link in the description for all of these. Join my free school community. I'll help you learn everything you need to know about AI and how you can make money, get clients, and solve their problems. Okay, thank you for watching. Here are some more videos on n8n. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the new version of n8n.